Ew, was cracking shorties and shortettes. All right, so we got the Oscar Leaf flaming. That's like one of my favorite Johns right there. Um, it's Saturday, y'all, and for the first time in a while, I haven't had much to do, so I'm just kind of like in my element, just kind of chilling. So as I mentioned before, this wing, it's held on by galvanized steel bolts and nuts. All right. And so not only are they crusty as heck, but they also like to galvanize and, freeze up. So they don't hold up to the elements well. I haven't really done a rain race in the H2 setup yet. So watch out, y'all, because I love driving in the rain. I think Ronnie would beat me in the rain because he beat me in the dry, and he's a good rain driver. But new car, new Dylan. All right. So anyway, so what we got here is we got some stainless Johns. The stainless Johns should help. Stainless Johns are going to be used to replace the galvanized Johns on the car. And then in addition to that, I got fender washers. So, what I talked about last time was if you look underneath the trunk, you'll see there's no backing plates. And I ran an entire season like this. It's fine. The wing held up, the car held up, and the wing made a huge difference in high-speed corners and under braking. So, success there. Where we didn't have success was that we had the bolts back up on the nuts, okay? So to remedy that, we have flange bolts that are going to be going on to those stainless Johns. I spent $30 in hardware, not too crazy. And then we're going to lock them with a regular bolt, okay? So a regular bolt like this, we're going to use on top of the flange bolt. It's going to lock the flange bolt down on the stainless steel nut. And then, reverse everything I just said. I just said bolt a bunch of times. I meant nut. We got flanged nuts, okay? And then we got regular nuts like these boys. And then the regular nuts are going to lock the flanged nuts onto the stainless steel bolts, okay? Then we're going to have fender washers, and that's going to squeeze the trunk lid. It's going to provide plenty of rigidity, especially because regular washers on just galvanized garbage hardware worked fine. Part of the reason why I used galvanized hardware the last time was because this was a prototype wing. This wing was 3D printed and then skim coated with JB Weld epoxy. And it held up. So I'm like, all right, it held up. The first time I went out on track with this wing, it was the HPDE at Pocono. And I had a Ferrari behind me, a C8 Corvette, and an Audi and a BMW. And as soon as I got out on the track, I was like, just go. Because I'm not trying to have that 3D printed wing break and hit one of these, $100,000 cars. And then it held up really well. And then I passed all of them back within like the next 2 laps. So we're savages out here, yo. We're savages. So it's Saturday night. We're feeling good. We're going to get that new hardware mounted up, and I'll show you guys what it looks like after. And so we got these thick washers, but they only had 6 of them, so there's 12 bolts. So these six thick washers are going to go on the outside of each of the mounts, and on the inside we're going to do the thin washers. But we got, for $30, we got a bunch of hardware, so we have spares. If something goes wrong, I have more. Last time, I think I spent $15 for all the hardware, like half of that. And the reason I did that was because I was like, I'm not trying to spend a lot of money. Again, it was a prototype at the time. Didn't know if the wing was going to even work. Ended up working great. So thank you, Diego. It took you a long time to get me that stuff, Diego. But I really do appreciate you helping me out, bro. I'll link his Instagram on this video so y'all can go see his work. He does he's an engineer. He's an aerospace engineer by trade. Dude's really smart. He's going for his engineering degree right now. Muchos gritos a mi amigo Diego, bro. Es el güey. You know what I'm saying? He's a good dude. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these thick boys on the outside. And so we got the flange John. The flange John's gonna go on like that, and then we're gonna lock it with a regular John on top, okay? That way it's not going to loosen up again, okay? You don't have to use Loctite, nothing like that. Why did I not go for a nylon locking fastener? Because the nylon ones have to be reused technically every time you take them on and off. They don't say that, in layman knowledge, but in, layman knowledge is layman knowledge. It's not right all the time. So yeah, we gotta, we're gonna double nut it, all right? That's what we're gonna do. This is called double nutting, all right? Don't make any sexual jokes, all right? Quick note, you'll notice that these ones on the bottom are shorter than the ones on the top. I literally just took, wow, I almost had a British accent there. I literally basically took these joints and I cut them so that they would be shorter, so that they would fit in this little ridge right here, okay? This time I actually got the correctly sized hardware. Again, last time, prototype. This time, perfection. Well, not quite, but it's gonna be close. So right now we're taking these off. We're gonna have all of the spare hardware, which I'm just letting sit in the trunk right now. Before, the trunk was covered in dust and broken glass and all this stuff. Cleaned it all up. We're probably gonna go through, clean it up with some, window cleaner and whatever else. And then the car will actually be clean again. It's extremely dusty on the inside. Even the seat was dusty. But I digress. So we're gonna start taking these out, and then I'll update you guys. We have it mocked up. Okay, this isn't final, but all the flat flanged nuts are on the bolts with these. So thick fender washers are here, thin ones are here, thin one here, thick one here, and it's only because I couldn't find a bunch of thick ones. I found 6 thick ones. These bolts, they're all flush now. Notice how these are loose. It's because I had to slide them back and forth to pull these bolts out. So these bolts will get tightened now, okay, so the wing's gonna get tightened. Then we're gonna try and take the wing and we're gonna slide it to the right, because remember I said it was off center a little bit. As much as I can. Probably not gonna move much, but I'm gonna push it as much as I can, and then open the trunk, tighten everything down. All right, it's very sturdy. The least sturdy part is the wing element itself, because it's printed in sections. Ideally what would have happened is we print it in sections. I make a mold for some fiberglass, and then I lay some fiberglass on there. But, that's too fancy for me. So what we do have instead is we have a wing. It's mounted. It's mounted very, very stiff. And we have everything double nutted. So, what we're going to do now is I have a paint marker somewhere, and I lost it. Of course. Oh no, here it is. Cool. Found it. And so anytime I do like a double nut, like on bolts or anything like that, what I do is I mark them. And even sometimes not, I find that the bolts for the motor mounts always loosen up. I find that suspension bolts loosen up quite a bit. And so what I'm doing is I'm just marking them so that if they do loosen up, I can see. See what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep doing that. And then, yeah, I'm really tired. I had leg day today, and it was my first time doing 3 reps of 2 plates, 2 25s, and 2 10s in probably a year or so. I think my max was somewhere around like 225 plus 2 10s on each side when I was at full strength, which is not a lot. I mean, I weigh 185, so that's pretty decent. But yeah, so I mean, I was putting on weight, y'all. I was tired, man. And so let's see. So we got my watch says I'm maintaining. It doesn't say I'm overreaching. We got 250% activity. So that is equivalent to, let's see, 17,800 steps. So I did, a little bit of cardio and a little bit of lifting as well. But I'm beat because of that. And also because of that, it's making it a little harder to work in the garage. But, seguimos. So this is, it's all wrapped up with the masking tape. So we're going to sand by hand any of these areas that are close to the masking tape to avoid damaging them. Not going to come out amazing as a result, but it's going to avoid pulling the masking tape off, and then the masking tape will be able to preserve any of the black trim, on these grills and stuff. Again, this area doesn't look amazing, but it looks okay. And there's one little piece of tape that I forgot here that I didn't see. So we're going to have to try and peel that off by fingernail, and then after that, see, it ripped already. After that, we're going to have to sand it. So, but I got all the other tape off. We got to take these little nuts off, and those things are like quick release tabs. I built my own tabs on the side here so that I could put the bumper on instead of having to worry about screws, because the screws always rip off. So yeah, here and then on the other side as well. And those are from Amazon. I think they're like 14 bucks. And the JB Weld hack that I did here did not hold up from the last episode, but the hood is still nice and sturdy, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm so used to saying that. Home Depot vent, which is even worse. is holding up well. It's all, all of the RTV is in there. So there's no RTV here. I could go back and add that if I want to, but the idea is to just prevent any air from going out here and then make sure that it goes out here. Again, I have data that shows that the Home Depot vent works. You don't need to spend $200 on race louvers, guys. I know you like to waste money on these stupid cars, but you don't have to waste money, okay? I mean, case in point, look how beautiful this thing is. And, like, I can actually low-key say that and not be sarcastic. Like, it does look really good, aside from the flat spots, which will get fixed when I clear coat the bumper. But, yeah, dude, it's coming together, man. It's coming together. And so that's kind of... Oh, kick the gas tin over. It's still early. I think it's 9:30. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is just kind of cutting it short for the night. And I'll save the rest of this cigar for later. I am getting a little bit woozy off this cigar. It is a very good cigar, but I don't want to smoke it too fast. It's a waste of a good cigar. And we'll save it, go inside, and watch some TV. Hopefully my bird is awake. He'll come out and he'll hang out with me usually. So like if I come in at 9:30, the bird will fly out of his cage onto his lamp that he destroyed that is now his perch. And he'll sit above my head and clean himself or whatever. And then sometimes he'll fly down to my knee and I'll give him little scratches, or he'll bite me depending on if he's in mating season or not, which he is. And yeah, so that's kind of it for now. Gonna kind of stop for the night. This is gonna go out in the morning, and it's going to go on the concrete pad where the purple Civic was. And then the purple Civic's going to come in here. And I might put an engine out on my concrete pad too. Because if I'm not allowed to keep the Civic outside, the engine and that need to go outside. Sorry. Don't mean to be petty, but it is what it is, right? So yeah, all right, guys. I'm going to cut it short for tonight. Going to cut this heater off, and I'll see you next time.